Good morning, everyone. It is Sandra Alexei, and today is April the 19th, 2021, and the Sun and Mercury move into Taurus. So we have a new energy that we're working with, and it's really exciting for me because of the video I'm doing today. First of all, I'm from Game Changer. I'm a co-author. It's the new model of relationships. And if you go on top, you can see where you can order it. First chapter is very interactive because there's exercises. The next thing is if you look in the Show Me, you can see my website, my personal muse, and I am a spiritual and business coach. All of my testimonials, I've written other books, I've had a very diverse career, is there, okay? And I'm really excited to now be working on with the YouTube channel and sharing the different cosmos, the weather, the planetary weather, what's happening and that type of thing, and interviewing a lot of special healers and wise people throughout the world, okay? So what I would really appreciate is if you would like, if you would share, and if you would subscribe. That makes me happy. I'm trying to build up, just for the sake of building up, nothing else. And if you would comment, and any comments, what I do is at the end of every month, I end up drawing a name, and I do a free mini reading for the person. I just contacted the lady from last month, and I'm doing her session on this Thursday, I think it is. Anyway, so we're off today with a Taurus Sun and a Taurus Mercury, and today what we're going to talk about is the number 3 series of the Lunar Nodes for 2022. And it's an 18-month cycle, and it's about your destiny and purpose. So it's the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio. And Taurus is known as the manifester. Okay, so this is really exciting, and it's all about synchronicity. I never really planned that when the Sun moved into Taurus, I would be doing it. It's just the way it happened. And so the divine works. I work very closely with the divine, and I'm very thankful. So anyway, thank you for taking your time, and I think you'll find this very interesting. Okay, what it is this is the third part of the 3-part series. Okay, so I do repeat some stuff to begin with in case somebody doesn't want to go back and look at the rest. Anyway, what do the lunar nodes in astrology represent? That's the first question most people ask. Most individuals know their sun sign. I'm an Aries, I'm a Scorpio, I'm whatever. There's 12 different astrological signs, which are individually ruled by specific planets, okay? And we know that we have universal cycles. We have the seasons, we have the equinox, okay, we have the new moon, we have the full moon, we have the solstice, so there's no getting away from it. First of all, we have our own personal nodal axis and in different houses in our natal charts. So an astrologer does a natal chart, okay, and it's like your fingerprint, and then we have the different planets that move, so it's like what's happening, where's the growth, what's going on. The different nodal axis carries a theme or a flavor for humanity and specifically for you. So I'm really excited to share the series of 3 nodal messages, especially with what we've been through. If you look at the nodal 1, the messages for nodal 2, the series, and we go on. So first, understanding what the nodal nodes are in astrology. Second, we understood the lunar axis in effect right now, which was the last one, which is Gemini Sag from May 6, 2020 to January 18th, 2022. And then the one previously was Cancer Capricorn lunar node from November 7th to 2018 to May 5th, 2020. And lastly, today, The next lunar nodal axis, Taurus Scorpio, January 19th, 2022 to July 17th, 2023. So what is in the stars for us? What are we actually preparing for? Okay, I've had a fascination with the lunar nodes of astrology for years, and I had the opportunity, synchronicity, to meet a fascinating older European astrologer in Denver, Colorado, years ago while taking my consulting skills course. She had worked with the nodes for over 50 years and only used the nodes in her consultation and sessions, because every astrologer is different, okay? That experience had me embrace more the intuitive soul evolutionary methodology of astrological consulting. I was blessed to have many teachers, and I remember they would tell me I would find my personal calling with astrology through experimentation and because I love the transpersonal planets. I've been blessed to meet fascinating individuals from all over the world, and since I belong to astrological associations and organizations, okay, the lunar nodes in a natal chart are only astrological bodies that always move backwards because they're associated with past lives, with our karma and our destiny. And they actually, if I look at a chart, it's like, where's your destiny? Where's your North Star, we call it? Where's your the gold that's in the shadow? Because the shadow is the South Node, and we're going to go to the gold. The fascination is still with me, and today as I continually study and attend weekly courses through Zoom to keep abreast. The lunar nodes are messengers, okay? And what they do is they alert you as an individual all about your spiritual life lessons and the keys to purpose, potential, and personal fulfillment. The natal house position of the North Node reveals the qualities we need to develop. Only the South Node, the descending node, is connected to past lives and past karma. So the South Node represents, that's kind of like your shadow. It can be, it's a point of insecurity. There could be fears, unresolved karma, but your natural abilities and gifts, also your challenges and shadows, which we need to look at and we need to resolve. Well, it's your choice. That we need to sort out in this lifetime, clean it up, understand the lessons, and this is where certain individuals and experiences become a part of your life. Since the South Node represents all your unfinished business from the past, guess what? You're given the opportunity to understand and deal with it through your soul evolution. The North Node, ascending node, is connected to our future, karma purpose, karmic path lessons, and gives us the opportunity to change our karma and create and rewrite our destiny. Because there is a destiny and there is also free will, which is all about your choices. The lunar nodes change signs approximately every 18 months, and there's also a collective theme for humanity and for our own individual personal theme. They fall in the same signs that the eclipses are in when you're born. In this lifetime, your task is to finish what you started fulfilling, resolving the South Node mission by embracing the North Node. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So we have a totally different approach. Generally, the transiting nodes, the lunar nodes, by mean node average, take around 19 years to move around the chart, so 18.6 years. When the transiting nodes meet the natal nodes, it indicates a highly personal inner process sometimes that can manifest in experience or feelings that feel faded. These transits propel you towards the teachings of your North Node and challenge you to recognize the qualities and limitations of the South Node. Often they can be characterized by meeting people that change your life or having a life-changing experience. So dreams, synchronicity, intuitive knowing can also play a prominent part in receiving the message of the transit. Now, the lunar nodes come back home in your natal chart about every 18 years. Also, this is exciting. If you're approximately 18, 37, 55, or 74, you will have your nodal return, which is a time when you effortlessly move in the direction of your destiny. Fated events and fated relationships await you. things fall into place. And that's where I'm going next year with mine. Okay, now if you are approximately 27, 46, 64, or 83 years, you will have your reverse nodal return, which is a time of adjustment, integration of what you've learned, and karmic recalibration. If you have the same lunar node axis with someone else, you're born of the same soul tribe, so all flows. If you're opposite, each of you have gifts and you can teach each other and share. Okay. However, sometimes it's incredibly challenging depending on the soul evolution and other aspects in the natal chart. So the work, everybody's work, is burn the dross, which is all about alchemy. And it's to integrate the south and the north node. The gold is in the shadow. You will never get to the light other than through the darkness. The psychological rule says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. The unconscious control which our shadow can exert upon us also accounts for self-destructive behaviors. So many individuals struggle with and are unable to control despite consciously knowing that they would be better off engaging in such actions. So many addicts, okay, and guess what? Don't point your finger. And we all have some addicting behaviors, are driven by our shadow, which accounts for the internal war which exists within them. One moment they tell themselves they're going to give up their addiction and live a clean life. The next moment their shadow overrides their conscious ego, and they enthusiastically seek out the next drink, the next hit, the next sexual release. As Robert Louis Stevenson notes in his book, The Strange Case of Dr. Hyde and Dr. Jekyll, man is not one, but truly two. He has a conscious personality and a shadow, each of which often battle for supremacy within his mind. Carl Jung. The South Node is what you instinctively know from previous lifetimes or through genetic memory, what you're designed to keep doing because it feels safe and natural. So your South Node is the gift, something that's waiting to be birthed and brought to completion. However, you may stay stuck in your South Node. And if it does, that happens, it becomes stagnant, rotten, and toxic because you choose not to change and evolve. Life and soul evolution is about self-mastery, self-actualization. Mind you, it's your choice. It is what you need to embrace. You can only heal and unlock your South Node past karma when you embrace your North Node. When you understand and complete the South Node lessons and integrate, then focus your North Node as your compass with new directions. Everything flows in perfect alignment with the universe. You've all had that kind of thing happen at one time. Considering the different lunar nodal axes, if your birthday is around one of the dates of the eclipses, or if you have personal planets, the sun, the moon, the Mercury, Venus, Mars, or angles, ascendant, descendant, MC, IC, around the degrees of the eclipse, you will be especially influenced by the North Node and the South Node between the relevant dates that we talk about. And again, from the Series 1 and Series 2. Series 2 tells you right now. So I get to enjoy some fated and destined experience, so I'm really excited. Now we can reflect on the past few years and have hope for the future. This too will pass the question. What did you learn? How awake are you now? What was and has been revealed to you? This is your soul journey. So I say take the rose-colored glasses off, your head out of the sand, because we've been hit with some reality. So guess what? The Taurus Scorpio lunar nodal axis and the planets rule love, beauty, money, power, transformation, intensity, and sexuality. The axis relates to the universal cycles of birth and death and growth and destruction, and the purpose is to surrender to the natural cycles of life and to be open to change. If you're born with the Taurus Scorpio lunar axis, your destiny involves learning to balance the practical and the mystical, the sensible and the spiritual. Taurus is ruled by Venus and Scorpio is ruled by Mars. This is where the Pluto energy is potent. These lunar nodes are prone to extremes. They exude sexual prowess, earthy sensuality, and power. The basis of the fixed signs is concerned with maintaining and sustaining the core issues. And the core issues are self-worth, worth and value. Words we use to describe energy and money. So now we're going to the North Node in Taurus. So it's about sovereignty. Taurus is the building side of the axis, and Scorpio is the tearing down and restructuring. Taurus rules the throat chakra. So Taurus North Nodes are learning to express, speak loud with authenticity and transparency. So that's what we're all learning. They will honor and acknowledge their personal worth and value, personally, within, and physically. Taurus rules the senses, so it's touch, smell, sound, sight, and they're hard workers. Think of the spa services and authentic businesses supporting individuals. Now, Taurus is also the manifester. Keep that in your mind. Now, the Scorpio South Node gifts are intensity, emotionalism, psychic abilities, the clairs, clairescence, claircognizance, transformation, intuition, and understanding the dark side of the shadow. And as they integrate these with understanding of the intense emotional transformation, change we have been under for years means that you are now ready for peace, serenity, natural nature, and no drama. We're done with it. For how many years now have we gone through this drama? Which actually started when Pluto went into Capricorn in 2007, because it was totally destructing all the societal structures that we have. Taurus node people know what to do with their money, and they're connectors and influences. So integrating those gifts with the beauty of the Taurian, Venusian energy, wow. There's an intuitive sense of style and innate knowing how to make money and energy work for them. Not as takers, okay, or energy vampires or parasites are the hosts. They also do not have hungry eyes needing more food, more clothes, more of this, more of that, okay? And they don't have the grass is green syndrome. It's not there, as some have learned the lessons of greed, because that's basically what some people can be when they want to hoard or they want for themselves. Or this green syndrome is, or the parasites, is greed, corruption, lies, power over control, indoctrination, brainwashing through all the past experiences we're encountering now. So you can see it out in the world, but you can also look in the mirror and see it, or see it with some of your friends. It's not a greed energetic resonance. It's more about finding meaning in life, the Taurus node, fully engaging with a term called aspiration, using their energy creatively, building sustenance, and using discernment when it comes to money. I'm not an economist or a financial advisor, so take what works for you and leave the rest. There have been all kinds of talk, theories for investments in money, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, gold, silver, talk of tyranny and having to change from the central banking system. Interesting, once a fringe fantasy of a return to the gold standard, it's creeping back into the mainstream. We all are needing to take our personal power back, to take the power of the money creation hands out of the politicians. And I know for some that's going to be sad, because they say, well, I want to get a monthly check all the time. But what have you done to get the check? And where does the money come for you to get the check? How many politicians have been successful business people? Most have worked for a check issued by the taxpayers and have not created financial independence. So can we really trust them? And they have not created financial independence? And are they fiscally responsible with our taxpayer dollars? Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what's happening with some of the governments. It is about breaking free and trusting yourself as you align with the divine God, being self-sufficient, mature, and responsible for self, which is very much an Aquarian energy. In 2016, before his election, Trump suggested it might be time to stage a return, bringing the gold standard would be extremely hard to do, but boy, he says, would it be wonderful. We'd have a standard to base our money. The gold standard, by limiting the dollars the government can print to the weight of gold it holds in reserves, is one way of doing it. I suggest you study the gold and silver standard. Once upon a time in America, paper money was actually used as a certificate that guaranteed the existence of some sort of commodity somewhere, a commodity like gold or silver. This is the basis of the gold or silver standard of currency, in which paper money is simply something that can be converted into a preset amount of gold or silver. It is Pluto's time to follow the money with the promise that by exposing the hidden hands, any inherently destructive power structures will be and are dismantled. Today we use the fiat currency system in which the money's value is not tied into a commodity, but tied to itself in the form of a payment. The drive for more money, hungry eyes, blind greed, simply an aspect of human nature, and such it has an evolutionary purpose. Greed has a lower frequency. Transcending greed on the evolutionary journey of consciousness transforms greed, the desire to accumulate more material, to again aspiration, which refers to the desire to attain something of a more spiritual nature. And that is an ascension process refined as you experience the purity of consciousness without thought. So that's about integrity and moral competency. We have seen the destruction aspect of personal, business, and political greed, which was our lesson on the different lunar nodal axis. What a journey. So with the lunar north node in Taurus, it is understanding, creating, building, and sustaining. Using your gift of aligning with the divine and God, trusting the intuitive meshes and your knowings. Being mindful, aware, using powers of discernment and detachment in your journey of self-mastery and self-actualization. It's about you aligning with spirit, not about somebody else taking care of you or a government taking care of you. Following the transit of the nodes allows us to make a bit more sense of the pattern we're stuck in. So we're letting go of past life tendencies to overindulge in physical, passionate pursuits. With all we have been through, we turn inward and more concerned with stabilizing our soul growth with a course correction. With our shift into the Taurus North Node, intense changes in relationships as you have changed. So it's self-discovery. We're moving from a 3D to a 4D to a 5D to a 7D, and the spiritual growth has been to find a balance between materialism and spiritual nature. So your South Node Scorpio, which is all about transformation, is our fear, insecurity, and vulnerability, which we release during this transit. Wow, love this. The focus of the Taurus North Node energy is all about turning within and aligning with the divine, source, God, higher self. And as you do, you have a wealth of reassurance and peace in your own nature. So it's about trust and faith. So through a step-by-step process, you embrace and embodies the energies of, this is the key, self-respect, sovereignty, personal value, self-worth, self-acceptance, personal responsibility for being self-sufficient. Truth and self-honesty is demonstrated through discerning and building healthy new patterns of behavior. Rather than needing validation, or listening to these people. And right now we're in this Gemini where it's like, you need to do that, you need to do this. I go, you know what? You need to do what you want and don't be telling me what to do. I'm aligned. Thank you so much for your advice. I appreciate it. Okay. So rather than needing the validation, you embrace your personal power, and with humility and strong personal boundaries, you understand and are finally able to see others that have different values and goals and make relationship choices that enhance your life rather than disempower you. So the outcome or consequences for everyone gives you the opportunities to embrace your sense of purpose, empowering self through grounding and enjoying the inner stability. Connecting with nature, take care of mastering and taking charge of money. Finances as we take responsibility for our personal wealth. So yes, the dollar's wealth is important as you're required to take. But listen to this. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. The fruit is contrasted with the works of flesh, which immediately preceded in this chapter. So, self-worth, self-value, self-love, and sovereignty comes from within, usually going through some kind of trauma and challenges, and have we been through them and are in them. We awaken to our force, our personal power. We do not need a politician, a banker, an educator, a doctor, a religious person, or an organization or system above our connection with the divine and God. And that is where we get our answers from. Trust and have faith as we learn the individual agenda of everyone can be for their own purpose, not your purpose. As we embrace this new nodal axis with inner knowing through self-discovery and wisdom, no delusion, just reality and facts of what is real and not real, with an attitude of gratitude, we can embrace all the incredible gifts of the universe. As galactic citizens, free spirits, we will embrace the med beds and amazing technologies available, and you discover and embrace and embody your innate gifts, skills, and purpose. So on our first nodal journey until now, we've discovered, since Capricorn is the sign of enmeshed authority, we will be shocked by the fall or exposure of the rotten to the core leaders. We will see the blind faith in paternal leaders to shape our world, especially ones with a do as I say, not as I do attitude. These transits actually enabled us to see the dark truths about greed, personal and corporate, and the destructive force on everyone and everything on earth. The part we play to create a sicker, healthy society by how we take care of ourselves and how we spend our money, which is energy. As galactic citizens, we have been on quite of an inner journey, which changed our outer experience of life. Some experiences and emotions we will embrace through these times are rage, grief, abandonment, jealousy, shame, anxiety, major illnesses, prosperity blocks, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual issues, major heartbreak, job, income loss, lawsuits, losing a loved one or home. The multi-dimensional universal consciousness acquired on our ascension process lifts the veils of illusion and gives us a greater spiritual understanding, humility, self-mastery, self-actualization, and self-love. Embracing the golden age of Aquarius as Pluto moves into 0 degrees Aquarius on March 22nd, 2024, until March 9th, 2043, when it moves into Pisces. 1781 was the last time Pluto was in Aquarius and the wild card planet was discovered. What a journey we've had. The pleasure and the pain to experience on our soul evolution and ascension process. So for 2022, we have a solar eclipse on April 30th at 10 degrees Taurus, a lunar eclipse May 15th at 25, a solar eclipse on October 25th, 2 degrees of Scorpio, and a lunar eclipse on November 8th, 15 degrees, all in 2022. So, many blessings, much love. It's a great time to have a private session or reading, so let me assist in looking at your nodal axis position for any understanding and answers during these challenging times. I really want to thank you for taking your time, and I would totally appreciate it if you would, like I say, subscribe, if you would comment, if you would share, okay? And Game Changer is an incredible book. That's what it's all about. It's short, it's to the point. The first chapter is all about self-discovery. It has 8 different areas where you have to answer questions. And anybody that got it last year and would answer the questions again now probably would be totally different things. So now for me, the key to life is to know thyself, and then to thine own self be true. That's the Oracle of Delphi. And the bottom line is with the nodes, okay, because sometimes I put more in the video than I do when I'm writing it, because there is also a written version on Facebook, if you in fact want to print it off for the dates and stuff, is that we're energy beings. So we leave this dimension and move to another dimension, another galaxy, whatever, okay? And so once we have fulfilled and that we've learned there and had our lessons and got our MBA or whatever, and we come back down to Earth as a dense planet and say, okay, I choose. So part of the whole nodal thing is, that's why it's the nodal families, okay, is I choose my mom and dad. And so if you think of the soul coming down with sparkly fairy dust, and you're born and you're all excited because you know you've got things to teach and you've got things to learn from this mom and dad, you forget everything. And if we go back to the old philosophers, okay, there's lots of great people out there that write right now, but I'm talking about Aristotle, Socrates, Pythagoras, those type of things, okay. And what they said, the two main things is, who am I and why am I here? Okay. And I forget who wrote The Meaning of Life. He was in the concentration camp. It's a beautiful thing, and it's all about finding our own meaning and engaging in life. So many blessings, much love on this special Taurus journey that we're going on for a month, and that we will be going on for 18 months come January of 2022. Take care.